Hope it's gonna be good. Let's get started. Start. Who should be Jasmine or TJ? Jasmine, TJ, Jasmine. Eeny, meeny, miny, moe. Here, I like the red hat. I like the red hat. Unlike you, I'm all too familiar with strange occurrences. My Uncle Jerry became Aunt Julie last year. Okay. 3 months later, he was back to Jerry again. Can't make his mind up. He still signs his emails as Julie, though. Don't ask. I managed to get an A grade on a paper that I didn't even remember turning in. My dad let some guy called Strong Bear sleep on our couch for a few days. Oh, that dude even taught me how to hit birds off telegraph poles with a stone in just one shot. Wanna see? No, okay. Even though my life can be pretty unusual at times, though this was by far the wackiest thing to happen to me. It took a cake for the weirdest thing I thought would or could happen to me ever. Yeah, it took every cake in the philosophical, I can't really say theoretical, philosophical, scope of cake, but represent all things odd. So you know how I had to deal with that 15 years of a consultant pain in the butt. That pain in the butt hadn't mattered beyond thinking the height of all hereditary and would usually flicking his nose contents at me. Okay, nice. I wasn't to be easily grossed out, but even cool skater older sister have their limits. Empty slot 1. What do I do? Save. Are you sure you want to save? Yes. Then now how do I continue? Return. And needless to say, Tyler had stretched all those limits very, very thin. 1 month previously. Like the music. My brother was just impossible. I would be constantly amazed as how far I was still sane despite being forced to share my personal space with someone so bratty and hyperactive. This is him, Tyler the Sinner. Dude! He would always shamelessly declare that he was cute and charming. Tyler was everything but his 15, and he was the pure spawn of the evil. See, let me just demonstrate how he managed to make life hell for me. He ruined things that day as with every single day of our lives. Whoa. Oof! The rock hit the front wheel of my thwack. With a thwack. And before I could even register what had transpired, my board went skidding to the side, sending me headfirst into nearby hedge. What the? She pissed. Tyler! Huh. What happened, you asked? Tyler happened. Ow. Upon hearing my shout, I could see a shadowy form moving rapidly away from his window. I was obviously going to put this together. Just how dumb did he think I was? We only have one story in our house, so it wasn't as though he could hide. Besides, who else would be slingshotting rocks at me around here? Plus, by triangulating trajectory, seemed to have come from his room. Despite deluging himself that he somehow was my sneaky little brother wasn't exactly Mr. Popular. And even if he had friends, it was doubtful any of them would hate me that much or have the guts to pelt rocks at me. Twigs and leaves were sticking into me, and I was left tasting back, or at least something hedgy. The hedge I collided with probably wasn't even ours. My mum barely had enough time to make herself breakfast, let alone manage any regular garden upkeep. It was probably our neighbours, despite attempt to keep my brother out of their yard. As if any preventing ever would worked on him. I tried to be careful getting up, but extracting myself from the hedge gave my arm crisscross scratches. Checking the state of my skateboard, I found the wheel had become oddly wonky. Oh no, he did not just. Tyler barely needed to work on his understanding boundaries, and personal pro- hmm, property, especially when it comes to my most prized possession. my skateboard of all things. He was so going to pay for this. I swung open the screen door, which was already off one of its hinges, and let it slam behind me. I wanted Tyler to be alarmed that I was coming for him. He could snicker and hide in any corner, but I would find him. I would find him. No Tyler. In his room, I backtracked to the kitchen. He wouldn't sneak to my room at a time like this. There weren't many hiding places at our home, fortunately. And there he was, wearing that obviously expression that we both knew he was faking, slurping the milk from his cereal bowl. And there I read that from smoking from his bowl of milk that had been sitting there stagnant for the last 3 hours. Nasty. Ask about the rocks. Complain about the skateboard. I reached out and grabbed him by the front of his t-shirt with both of my hands. Next time you shoot rocks at me, I want you to remember the giant wedgie I'm going to give you. No, I'm going commando, Tyler said. I didn't know what he expected me to do after hearing that news. I recoiled and dropped him like I just realized that it was a dirty diaper I was holding. Hey, my shirt is all wrinkled, he yelled out in pain and then gave me a delightful look. Oh, TJ, Commando, remember, you've gotta take care of my boys. TM. I dry heaved at the thought. If I vomited in front of him, would he realize how much he was damaging my face? Psyche, maybe. TY and his boys put the TY in nasty. Nasty. Friday. Every day would be usually start the same way. Tyler and I would fight over the cereal, and Tyler would try some underhanded move to get it from me. That's why I couldn't even bother with the ponytail anymore. Steal my bowl. And today he got the box of cereal and dumped it over my head. Cheerios went everywhere. He was a real little charmer. He just sat there with his goofy-sized blonde head bobbling with cackles at my expense. Tyler. Tyler, I should say actually. Listen up, TJ. That was funny. For you, maybe your face is at least funny, though. Your mum is funny too. Our mum, Dillweed. Your mum jokes are lame. Sympathetic. I knew what was coming next. I would start skating to school and have to backtrack about 10 times to stop my brother from getting sidetracked, gawking at squirrels. Tyler could never focus on one thing for long. I was pretty sure he had ADHD, but Mum wouldn't do anything about it, and Dad was never around. It was kind of annoying that Tyler wouldn't have got the help that I was sure he needed. Not that I cared anything, it just bothered me that I still had to babysit my 15-year-old brother. Ty, and I joked that Dad probably was a couple of other families out there where frequently we got to see him. Because joking was easier than admitting that it might just be the truth. So it's just the three of us, and the only way Mum seemed to cope with it was ignoring the erratic behavior of Tyler. Which means my brother could get away with anything. Dude, really, I hated being the older child. Everything would always be my fault because in Mum's eyes, Tyler was a regular kid who occasionally messed up and does childish things instead of behavioral and problematic of goof he is. It must have taken a lot of denial, as everyone could plainly see that Tyler made it his job to test and to only sane people in the family. I admired her for that honesty. Thankfully, I didn't have to look out for him when I got on school property, my only Tyler-free zone. He would be on his own then, and if anyone had a problem with him, they could call my mum or the police, whichever one came first. Is that bad? My best friend Nikki was a welcome sight after the morning fiasco. Hello, Nikki. She leaned on my locker looking bored. Nikki, that girl, a total oddball, but I love her to bits. If only I could replace Tyler with Nikki as a sibling any day of the week. FYI, Jono is coming this way. See how helpful she is. Tyler would have never warned me of impressing annoyance. He was on annoyance in and of himself. Like it's whatever the dude's name just was. I turned just in time to see a bulging shoulder of the president of the AV club, Jono, something I didn't care about his last name, extent of our common ground. Even though I was the teeniest bit jealous of his skill, I would have been content never to have to talk to him again. Fate didn't agree because he would always hover around me like a bad smell. I glanced up to his face. His hair was getting dangerously close to the mullet, but he still held himself like cock of the walk. Jonah, heard you were going to enter the Extreme Sports Challenge this year. He sized me up. I could tell he was figuring out if I was serious about it. So be ready to lose, babe. Thank you coming all this way to tell me. I smiled sweetly, so false even a never Neanderthal like him, a Neanderthal like him would be able to tell. Like what was his deal? If I didn't know any better, I'd swear he was stalking me. I waved at him as he left just as the first bell of the morning rang. Junk had already ruined my Tyler Friesen. How I longed for a Tyler Free and Gennaro free zone. Need I describe in full detail how much my brother antics ruined the rest of my day? Okay, school was over and I had just settled down to my homework when crash! My window looked like a car windshield complete with a baseball-sized hole, glass everywhere. I located the baseball next to one of my dirty sheets on the floor. This must have been Tyler. I still hadn't decided what to do about it yet when Tyler came bounding into my room, gasping for air. Hey, great, you found it. Okay, so it was him. Found? Did he not see what the ball did to my window? I glared at him. So pass it over, he tee. I aimed the ball at his head and he ducked just in time. It went bouncing down the hallway. Terry Jane Ryan, no throwing balls in the house. What about throwing balls through the house? I was too annoyed to even question her. If she heard the sound of shattering glass, why didn't she say anything then? I spluttered, still not finding the words for how completely cheated I was. My brother was spawn of evil, and if there was any doubt before now, I was sure. I'll buy you a new window, TJ. Pinky promise. Yeah, sure you will. He held out his pinky finger to me, and I just had to look at him as if it was contagious. Could you catch evil from a pinky? I wasn't taking a chance anyway. Anyhow, what's the point? You just break that one too. Or I'm trying here. Hey, I'm trying here. Well, stop. I don't need you trying when all you do is make everything worse. I should have. I shoved him out of my room so hard that it sent him toppling into his backside, then closed the door to shut myself off from my family. If I locked myself here long enough, maybe Tyler would disappear for good. Maybe the zombie apocalypse would hit and he'd be dragged away by flesh-eating monsters. I could dream, couldn't I? That's not very nice, your little brother. I know he's a pain in the ass, but still. That morning, my mum was getting ready to work at the diner, and Tyler actually disappeared, only to reappear as I poured a bowl of cereal. He was holding a flattened rodent by the tail with his two fingers. You know how it is. He dangled it right in front of my face, Tyler, trying to get a reaction out of me. When he noticed there was none, he broke into creepy grin. Give you $10 to lick it. I wasn't particularly squeamish, but I was interested in where he was getting green from. It wasn't like we got patents or money for chores. I don't know how else he could have been raking it in. Where'd you get the bucks from? I'll tell you if you lick it. Uh, no way, man. Pass. He dangled it one last time and gave up, looking disappointed. What a killjoy. Where'd you get the money from? Why should I tell you? Free of charge. You charge your own sister for information about yourself. Are you really surprised? He flung the thing in the trash just as our mum entered the kitchen, still sipping her morning coffee. How I wish she had seen what the disappointed describable monster child of her had been holding just a few moments ago, but she wouldn't even care. This is the point of the game where you can decide. Decide what? This is where it is that TJ should spend the day. Click on the area of the map that you would like for her to go. Skate park. Hi, Mom. I better get going practicing. There's only there more weeks until the free sports game. I was telling her this to Mum. I didn't care about Tyler knowing. I was hoping this year she'd want me to see me skate my way to victory, and if I kept mentioning every day, then she couldn't forget it was happening. Mum droned the rest of her coffee, down the rest of the coffee in one swift movement. Take your brother, he gets lonely these days when Dad is on the road. Do not. It's better than when Dad gets back into town and expects us to clean the back sweat off the truck seat. It wasn't any better for us when Dad came back. So it's a poor excuse for me to babysit my brother. Mom obviously didn't appreciate what I said by the way her lips tightened. Terry shows some respect. If Tyler said it, you would have no problem with it. My voice rose a little. I was sick of having to defend every thing I said, while Tyler never got a third degree from Mum. However, Mum only let out a sigh. Is it strange that I actually wanted her to show some emotion towards me for once? It's because I'm adorable. Cereal fell out of his mouth as he spoke. Real adorable. I'm gonna leave it for now, guys. Let me save and then I'll get to the next part in the next video because I gotta go somewhere. Blah, 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 blah. So I'll see you in the next video, guys. Sibling Experiment. Hope you enjoyed this. Yeah, see you in the next video. Bye.